Test Drive with Graeme Fletcher.
This week on Test Drive, we look at the flagship of the Cadillac lineup. This is the 1993 Allanté, a car that Cadillac built as America's only two-seater roadster. It also happens to be a mantle that this car bears very well.
The suspension on the Allanté features McPherson struts up front and an independent short long arm setup in back with sway bars at both ends. The ace up the sleeve, however, is the addition of Cadillac's road sensing suspension system. Now, while the system is not active by nature, it does offer many of the advantages in a cheaper, less sophisticated form. The system monitors wheel position and body motion. After deciphering the information, it changes the damping characteristics from soft to firm or vice versa, depending on need. This new system switches back and forth between settings in the blink of an eye. Now, technically, that's about 15 milliseconds. Unlike many other setups of similar intent, it is next to impossible to detect the switch in the Allanté, a trait I find highly desirable. During the pylon test, the car tracked a fairly clean, precise line with virtually no body roll whatsoever. However, the amount of cowl shake dissuades the driver from putting the suspension to the full test.
Now, when I road test convertibles, I talk a lot about torsional rigidity or cowl shake. Now, I can demonstrate exactly what that is using this shoebox. With the lid on, the resistance to the twisting motion end to end is quite substantial. However, take the lid off and we now have a convertible shoebox. The resistance to the twist has gone. It's very flimsy. Now, in the Cadillac, what they've done, they've reinforced the chassis, which helps to eliminate a lot of that movement, but unfortunately it doesn't eliminate it all. The next time I road test a convertible and I refer to torsional rigidity or cowl shake, the shoebox will help you understand.
Elsewhere, the Allanté features Bosch's second-generation traction control system. This system is really appreciated given the enormous amount of power available. The system works using a combination of brake application and power interruption. In severe cases of traction loss, the system can shut down as many as 5 cylinders as well as applying the brakes. The result is a very well-balanced car rather than a car that gets bent out of shape because of a sudden loss of grip.
The dashboard on the Allanté is a digital one that's been disguised to resemble an analog one. Now, the problem with it is, with the top down on a sunny day, it washes out to such an extent that it's almost impossible to read. The other thing is, these 3 gauges here are hidden by the steering wheel rim. Now, to the right of that is a bank of buttons that numbers no fewer than 44. Now, the good thing about it is, or I guess the lucky thing I should say, is that you only need to use about 6 of them while you're driving. The remainder can be left for show or to impress your passenger.
Any question about the motive power Cadillac install in their cars has been thoroughly quashed with the introduction of this totally new North Star engine. As such, this engine is the real story of the new Allanté. Not only is this one of the most sophisticated and powerful engines around, boasting 4 cams, 32 valves and tune port injection, it is also remarkably smooth and responsive. All 295 horses and 290 pounds-feet of torque come online in exactly the right amounts at exactly the right time. Nudge the gas pedal and the car takes off like a scolded cat. Matched with this wonderful engine is a 4-speed automatic overdrive transmission, complete with a lock-up torque converter. The shifts are smooth and well coordinated, and kickdowns when needed are prompt and not at all abrupt. During the test, we recorded a fairly thirsty 14 litres per 100 kilometres or 20 miles per gallon. I say thirsty because about 70% of the distance covered was on the highway.
Raising and lowering the top on the Allanté is accomplished very easily. First of all, you release the back section here, which I've already done. You then pop the rear cover, release the front, which again I've already done, drop the whole lot down into there, close the top. As simple as that. Now, the problem is there's 2 holes left and you're supposed to put these 2 pieces in. Now, first of all, they're awkward to put in, and secondly, because there's no proper storage space or protection package for these things, the risk of damage is quite high. Now, inside, they've thought to put in some nice storage space here. The center console and the glove box are both fully lockable, so the security with the top down is very good on this car.
The real glass rear window is a definite plus because it houses a proper defroster. Rearward visibility and a soft top with a plastic window has always been a bone of contention. This eliminates that aspect of soft top motoring.
I believe I've made it obvious. I think this North Star engine is one of the best engines in the world. It's powerful, it's very smooth, and it's a very willing performer. Summing up the Allanté is very easy too. This car adds a touch of elegance to ragtop motoring.